Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Friday. Oh, so sweet. It's gonna be Friday. I think I'll have a beer or two after work. It's gonna be good. I can feel it. Today is gonna be a good day. But unfortunately, I don't have any coffee made. And it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Oh yeah, let's not forget to start that one. The counter thing for the window at the bottom. It seems to be matching. Captain Jetlag, Michael Jordy, you're back. Captain Jetlag, yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite of uh, Lonely Island is the office guy going crazy down the street, like screaming and doing coke and stuff. Be right back. Whew. The coffee machine beeped. I got myself some coffee. Okay. So, how about you guys throw me some topics and we'll get going. Now let's see if the dice screen will show again. Hey Tormod, good morning. Yeah, okay, right now today the dice works. Fantastic. Fantastic. AR time traveling. AR? Artificial reality? Augmented reality? Time travel? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we got enough. Throw. Number 2. Number 2 would be Om's weird augmented reality time traveling arachnid. What? Alright, let's see what that is gonna be. So what is the topic actually? AR time traveling arachnid. Does that even make sense? Time traveling arachnid? It's gonna be an interesting topic. All right. Let's do a time traveling augmented reality time traveling arachnid. Augmented reality time traveling arachnid. What? I have no idea. I'm going to start drawing a spider. I have kind of an idea, but more or less like a technical approach how to solve it, like how to do it AR, but how to do it as a time traveling spider. All right. Okay. So let's play around with like the. I'm going to play around with the proportions of the spider. And I had this idea of how to solve it technically. It's like I want to try to make it look like amber. So it's like see-through as it's augmented reality. Um, so augmented reality is obviously VR, but it's more like a heads-up display, improved reality rather than a um, completely virtual reality, as in put the goggles on and you are immersed in this digital representation of a world, which augmented reality isn't. Augmented reality is more or less UI. So my thought is as follows: that so the augmented reality time traveling arachnid means that the augmented reality is the spider, right? So it's an augmented reality spider that travels in time. But that doesn't mean that spider needs to be the time traveler. But the spider could just be the tool that time travels. You see? See where I'm getting at here? So my idea here, right, how to solve this super weird topic is to have the spider being augmented reality to a time traveler. So I want to like place the time traveler inside the spider's body so that the spider like becomes the tool to time travel with. So I want to like give it like I was thinking it could be like indications of time around like a watch around the feet, so that whenever the spider puts its feet down, it's like a time slot, so it can like travel the web of time. Oof, how good didn't that sound? Right, so that's the idea, right? So it's a time traveling augmented reality. It's a guy traveling in an augmented reality spider. Oh, could be automatic rifle as well. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Doctor Who. That's cool, Jordan. Right. So that's my attempt at solving the solution. Right. So now I just gotta uh, like what I want to do is quite early on sketch it out, but leave it like with overlapping segments so that when I do give treatment to it, it's gonna look see-through. Right. So that's why I'm making the lines in a way on purpose dirty, right? So we can see the underside going through the body and so on. So because I wanted to give it a wash of color, just like one tone, and then have these lines not being black anymore. I'm gonna hue and saturation shift them towards the color of the wash, right? So that's gonna look like it's a see-through thing. That was like one of the things that made me come up with the idea of how to tackle the weird topic. Um, the technical solution, and then the rest kind of got tacked on. Um, But I find it always like when when you have something weird like that, um, to snowball the solution, um, like you find like a string to grab a hold of, and then like do your best to layer it, um, and remove or add things to the mix, um, to try to solve it that way. Like really consider the things you're adding, if they make sense. If not, because the open-ended nature of this topic, right? It's very up for interpretation. And if it would be for a client, I would do not just this version or this interpretation of the brief, right? I would uh, try to come up with a completely different take on it, and leave the whole um, AR spider vehicle or time traveling tool idea, and try to come up with a completely different one, just to make sure that like a client would get a range. I didn't necessarily need to think it's the best solution, but a solution nevertheless for the client to look at, and so that they could debate over which direction they want to take it. Cheers, Michael. So I want to, like, ideally, I would have time to do like proper UI stuff, with numbers everywhere and things like that. But I have to like do them free-handed now and on the fly. It's going to look a little bit shitty, but what can you do, right? Some math-looking things and calculations, and yeah, whatever. Probably it's going to be good enough. Some leg probably in the back there as well. All right. Arachnid have. Does it have 8 legs, a spider? Does they have. How many legs do a spider have? 8. Right. Cool, 8. Shmei, so about we're going to continue with the weird topic. A lot of people were kind of weirded out by it yesterday. But yeah, so I like to play around with dreams a lot, and I have control over my dreams, so I have lucid dreams, which means you are aware. Um, I have practiced it a lot, and I've done like research of people doing techniques of how to get into that state. Um, but for me, what worked the best, what really made it click for me, was that I need to find indicators myself of how I know that I am dreaming. And when I was aware that I was dreaming, the rest kind of came to it. Um, so the way I understand that I'm dreaming is that there's no smell in the dream world. Like, I know that I'm dreaming because I can't smell anything, and that alone is like the trigger for me to realize, okay, this is just a dream. I can do whatever I want. So that means that whenever I'm dreaming, I know that it's just a dream, and I can change it. But most of the time, I just watch it, watch whatever is being presented as a movie to see what my brain want to communicate. I do realize the importance of letting the brain do what the brain needs to do, and not having me consciously overriding um, the process of, whatever venting my brain needs to do. I mean, obviously, the brain has this function of dreaming. Um, so I allow it, whatever dream I have to more or less go. Uh, it's more or less like I'm acting in my dreams because I know I just play along, but I'm always aware it's just a dream. Uh, and if it's too weird, I just like switch channel, in that sense, or or change the dream up. But usually, I as the dream is playing out, I'm trying to kind of figure out why am I dreaming this? What's the reason for me to do this? Like, what does my brain need to deal with subconsciously? Um, it's almost like self-analysis in a way. It sounds weird, but I've also used my dreams to ask questions about myself and things like that. Like, therapy. Super weird things, but I'm a strong believer that you cannot make yourself do a lot of things by first bridging the idea, bridging the thing you need to try to bridge. The sense of, like, when you find the thought of how to make your nostrils move, or how to move your ears, when you make that mental connection between your brain and nose, like the nostrils, how to make them move, or whatever little silly thing that humans can come up with doing when they're bored, right? It's all down to finding that bridge in your head. And I think the human body is completely able to do a lot of weird things, um, as long as you find the way to do it. Yeah, for some people, when they realize that they're dreaming, is that they can't see their hands. Um, oh, kuro, yeah, that's another technique I usually use sometimes. Um, Shmaiz, yeah, that's just one way of doing it. It's a matter of getting into a specific mind state. Uh, Best is to just kind of try to figure out how to do it your own way. Um, it's like with all tutorials and so on. Like, you never know. Um, you can't have an answer for everyone, right? You have to have an answer that bridges most people, and that doesn't necessarily mean everyone. It's just like statistically, the most people will use this technique, right? But nothing says it has to be that way. So that's another important thing to keep in mind. And also from my father, his way of knowing his dreaming is he takes a book from anywhere in the dream, and his way of practicing lucid dreaming um, was when he opened the book the first time, the book was empty. He couldn't see the letters, and then he tried to see the letters, and he saw letters, but he couldn't read the text. And later, when he could see the text, the letters, he became in control. Which is an interesting technique. And I mean, that's obviously no like how to lucid dream guidebook. It's just a matter of figuring out what works for you if you're into that kind of stuff. Personally, I really enjoy the idea of like hacking my own body, hacking my own brain. So I've experimented a lot with like physical control. I did lots of martial arts, and in that way I also got into the idea of, you know, how far can you push the body and so on. So due to a lot of martial art training, I can more or less give myself adrenaline on demand. You know, if I know that there's a situation coming up, my body preps and gives myself, it gives me adrenaline and things like that. So it's weird, but I enjoy it personally to experiment with things like that. It's like I said, it's a matter of just finding what works for you when it comes to stuff like that, and realizing that all these guidebooks are just like guidebooks of the most common denominator, right? Of how to get it done. But there's no right and wrong. I mean, the whole thing they're saying about you have to lie still for X amount of time and so on. I mean, to some degrees, it's true, but it's not the only way to do it. And you have to just kind of try to think about what's the reasoning behind it. Like, why do they ask you to do it? It's just so you relax, stop thinking too much, right? They want you at a specific mind state, which means a specific rate that your brain is working in. You know, the brain has different like charges, right? Like hertz, and they've proven that when you're solving problems, the mind works at one rate, and when you're scared or in panic, the mind works at another rate. You know, it makes sense if you think of it like a machine. You know, a car can idle, a car can, you know, you can go pedal to the metal, you can drive it at an economical state, you know, run it at a state where it burns just enough energy and not enough in order to move forward and all these things. And the brain is the same way. So that's why they want you in a specific state to be acceptable to be in a lucid dreaming. But it can be achieved in many, many different ways. It's just a matter of figuring out, like I said, that mental connection of getting to that state. You can also aid it by there is this thing called binaural sounds, which is two different rates of tones in each side of the ear, which can help help your brain reach a specific state. But obviously, you can't completely hack your mind to, well, now I'm going to get tired. I switch on the binaural sounds and I'm going to fall asleep. That doesn't work, but it helps the brain achieve a specific state. Um, if it's the right version, right kind of sound and so on. There's a lot of bullshit on the internet saying this is for meditation, this is for self-healing and all these things. But I don't believe that, but I do believe in the kind of factual part of the functioning machine of the brain, that you can affect it that way, not the kind of hippie version of it. That I've never been a believer in. I always just believed in like the human body as a machine in that way, and the strength it has through it. Good morning, Ben. Maybe it's a bit weird topic. Maybe we should change topic. But yeah, it's something I have enjoyed experimenting with. Lucid dreaming. My wife hates it. I have taught myself to fall asleep really quickly. It takes just a minute to go to fall asleep. It's because I had insomnia for many years, and I had to find my own solution to it. I didn't want to eat medicines for it, or drugs, to get tired. So I had to kind of find a way of meditating myself. Meditating myself, that's funny. Yeah, so I found my own solution to hack my brain to fall asleep. It's more or less just meditation. But I found something that worked for me and made me just kind of completely plonk out in a really fast time, and my wife absolutely hates it. She lies there as as a normal person struggling to fall asleep, while I more or less just hit the pillow and I'm out. Michael, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, I dream every night. I'm, conscious, but like I said, I allow my brain to do what it needs to do. I don't try, most of the nights I don't fight the dreams. I more or less watch TV in that way. Like you can't interact with the TV. You can switch channel if it sucks, but I just more or less just allow it to have its run because I know the importance of what the brain is doing. Um, and I only need to sleep like 4 hours, more or less, to be rested. But obviously, sometimes I need to sleep for a longer time to kind of catch up. But day to day, I don't need to sleep that much because when I do fall asleep, I fall asleep hard and deep, and I'm just completely switched off until I wake up. Which is the benefit of this practice of self-meditating um, state, so that I can fall asleep. I go quickly into sleep, and when I'm there, I'm very heavy asleep. Oh no, I have lost a brush. Guru, yeah. I have no problem falling asleep every second day. Let's add some kind of sci-fi honeycomb pattern, the generic sci-fi pattern for all things sci-fi. Probably something like that. Let's put it at the bottom. Yeah, I mean, as not to go too crazy and have too long discussion about lucid dreaming, but it's a topic I'm quite fond of experimenting with. Like I think like the human body is able to heal itself quite significantly, and I think it's something we don't think about that much that we might need to. Like it's probably a function that is there, and if it isn't there actively, it should be because we can. You know, I don't know. It's quite like out there topic to discuss, but I don't know. I enjoy it. But I mean, trying to hack my brain and so on has given me some fun like explorations. Like I can control my heart rate. And things like that. I showed it to my wife one time, and then she banned me from doing it again. I more or less stopped the heart, or made it skip a beat. And she was like, it hit me, and she said, "You're never allowed to do that again." I was like, all right. Is that a bit too much? The glow? I don't know. Someone banned? Who is banned? I don't get it. Did someone get banned? Oh, and I was banned from doing it. Right. Come on, stupid brain. I feel like I've explored this idea enough. Like I'm just kind of waiting out the time. Oddly, it feels like if I had to take it further, I'd have to, give it proper attention. But I think it's pretty cool. I think it's not too bad. Quite simple. Simple sketch. Yeah. All right. Time's up. Right. Yeah. I get it. I got it now. Arctic arcade. Wave. All right. Thanks for the challenge. Oh, who was it again? Who did the topic? I forgot to write. Um, alms. There you go. So thanks everyone for coming. Monday morning is the next stream, same time. I won't have time to do live stream on Saturday because my wife is in Italy, so I gotta be around for the kids if they wake up and so on. So I can't do a Saturday stream. But have a great one, and I see you at the Discord. Most likely we'll hang out on the Discord. I do paintovers if I have time and so on. Otherwise, see you on Monday. And here comes the outro. Come on, outro. Bye.